He's a wonderful lover.
He's got an escalator that goes to the top floor.
Hey! He's clearly a successful businessman. What do we know about his methods?
IUD coil? No.
He's not a gynecologist.
Whatever he might have told you.
Oh, no!
Yes, this is the news that Mohammed Al Fayed has offloaded Harrods. The new Qatari owner bought Harrods for £1.5 billion. If only he'd hung on to the sales, he could have got it for £1.5 billion. Qatar Holdings chairman is Sheikh Hamad bin Jassim bin Jabbar Al Thani, which by the time you add licence to sell intoxicating spirits won't quite fit on the sign above the door, will it? Shall I get rid of this before I put fingers on buzzers?
No, that's all right, keep that.
We like that? OK.
I think so.
Bugging me, that's all. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here's the next one. Oh, I see.
Yeah. When you win a play, are you always surprised by how it finishes?
Shut your face.
Have you ever been in a play where the phone suddenly rings and it shouldn't be ringing? I saw that once, and an actor went over. Everybody suddenly looked at the phone, startled. You know, they'd never seen a phone ringing before. And one of the actors just went over to it and picked it up and said, "It's for you." This is people sitting outside a public library.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all I know about it.
Is it?
Yeah.
This is a library in King's Lynn.
Where the goblins live.
In Norfolk. And they're employing bouncers to keep the peace. Do we know why?
They're throwing people in. Knowledge!
Nobody know? They've called bouncers in to protect the staff from unruly children. Or, in other words, children. And what sort of things are your adorable little tykes accused of?
They're not trying to take books out, are they?
According to a local county councillor, children would not only run around, but also make a lot of noise.
Would they put their hands in the air like they just don't care?
And how did the Express bring balance to this story in their headline?
Burn the library down!
Says Diana through Medium.
No, they ran with, library hires a bouncer to bring yobbos to book. Message board's been going crazy about this. King's Lynn really is a hellhole. Most of the population have an IQ which barely reaches double figures. It's full of antisocial and loutish behaviour. It is depressing, which is why I'll be moving to more rural Norfolk as soon as possible. I'm Norfolk born and bred, but this town really is the backside of Norfolk. Well, that's cleared that up. Time now for the odd one out round. Fingers on buzzers, teams. They are Gordon Brown, Delia Smith's seafood risotto, tennis player Robert D, and a dish of hummus in the Lebanon.
Yes, now, Gordon Brown, during the election by, I think, a member of the Labour Party, was described as the worst Prime Minister ever. Delia Smith's seaside risotto was described as absolutely disgusting. Roger D, was it, the tennis player, British tennis player, he was accused of being the worst ever tennis professional, but I think he sued successfully and proved he wasn't.
No, he was unsuccessful. I thought you were allowed to describe him as the worst tennis professional now, because he lost every match, isn't that right?
Record-breaking 54 straight-set losses on the professional circuit.
And it was only on the Wii.
A run that propelled him to number...
So it's about things being the worst thing in the world. So those three are the worst at what they do, and the hummus is the best. So that's the odd one out.
It's pretty good. It's not quite the best. They've all been described as the worst of their kind, apart from the big bowl of hummus in the Lebanon, which has been described as the largest of its kind. This week, a team of 300 Lebanese chefs broke the world record for the biggest bowl of hummus ever made.
Well, that's enough to feed Hampstead for 2 days.
It took 300 chefs to prepare the dish, and if you want to imagine what 300 chefs look like, just turn on your telly and channel hop for a couple of minutes. It's part of the ongoing hummus war between Lebanon and Israel, yes. Lebanon claims that Israel is stealing traditional Arab dishes and marketing them worldwide as Israeli. Their latest effort beat the record set by Israel in January of this year.
You don't want to be taking Israel on in a war.
And it's a bit near to Hamas, really, isn't it?
Last week, Labour candidate Manish Sood announced that Britain was in a mess and that the worst Prime Minister ever was Gordon Brown. Luckily for his party, the eccentric Mr. Sood was standing as a candidate in a place where Labour didn't have a hope in hell of winning. Britain. Fans of the nation's favourite cook, Delia Smith, have described her recipe for seafood risotto as the worst risotto they have ever tasted.
Because usually her recipes are praised because people say the recipes work very well, but this it didn't. So people sort of like created this risotto thing and they had to sort of put it into bin liners and take it to the end of the garden and
Yes.
bury it. And...
Yeah, visitors to the Waitrose website described it as nauseating, offensively fishy and repugnant. And according to one reviewer, the entire meal went in the bin and we all had toast instead. We then had to put the bin bag at the bottom of the garden because of the revolting smell. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, It's Fate magazine. Well, we were bound to have it one day. Somebody wrote that.
Somebody read it.
We start with, if you know who's on the phone before it answered, Oh, for goodness sake.
I'll do it for you if you want.
Would you mind?
Yeah. If you know who's on the phone before you answer it, then what?
It's not me!
That's it.
It's not me!
Yeah. If you know who's on the phone before you answer it, then you're psychic.
Or
Right.
you've only got one friend.
Yes, that's...
Or you've dialed the speaking clock. And it's rung you back out of pity.
The answer, you might be psychic.
Hey.
Or more likely, you've got caller ID. Next, talking pillow, what?
Takes the effort out of pillow talk.
Annoys duvet with unfounded gossip.
It's for students, to help students revise, isn't it?
Hey! This is a pillow containing a speaker which can play students' pre-recorded lectures while they sleep. Next, how to say no to a chimp. What?
You just shake your head. They found a chimp who can mimic human actions.
Well done. The answer is shake your head. Quick chimp head movements mean no, and quick chimp hand movements mean cover your children's eyes. So the final scores are Ian and Julia have 7, Paul and Chris have 8.
Oh, it's a robbery.
It should have been a lot worse, didn't it?
So does that, in the new era, does that technically mean I've won?
The deputy winner.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Julia Hartley-Brewer, Paul Merton and Chris Addison, and I leave you with news that before being accepted by the Conservative Party, Nick Clegg is subjected to one final humiliating public examination. Honk. In a pigsty in Somerset, there's proof that even the most unlikely coalition can work.
Cost a bit of pig and a High Court judge.
After the voting chaos at UK polling stations, a team of international experts flies in to investigate. And as the Tories refuse to agree to the Lib Dem demands to abolish Trident, Ming Campbell decides to do it himself. Good night.
Well, the kids aren't the only ones misbehaving. It looks like Dad's in even bigger trouble, thanks to the mysterious Mimi. Outnumbered next on BBC One.
I've got Wendy Craig's old dressing room. It's got her initials on the door anyway.